Hey, welcome back. My name's Dave. I am showing people how to do certain things with photography, especially if you're new, like if you're 40, 50, 60, or older, new career, just want to pick up a camera as a hobby. And this video is going to be based on what should you shoot. My last video was on should you even grab a camera in the first place, and of course the answer is yes. This video is more on what you can shoot, what types of photography are out there. And I have a list of notes here I'm going to go over and give you a couple of examples of what to shoot. So if you're here, I know you're learning. You're not an old hat at this. You're looking for suggestions and stuff. So that's what this is for. So if you like, subscribe and put a comment in. Remember, I'll answer the comments. Any comment you ask a question on, I will reply back, and we can get into further detail about how to solve a problem or learn something or an avenue that you would like to go down. Any question's fine. There's no stupid question. All questions are good. If you don't know something, you want to know, so ask. This video is specifically going to be on types of shooting, what to go out after, what your fancy is the way to say it, what you're into. So without any further ado, we'll get into it a little bit. Once again, if you're still debating on whether you should get a camera or not, I think you should, because you're watching another video on it, and this is probably not the first video. If you watch more than one video on it, then maybe you have this desire, and there's nothing wrong with it. I suggest that you don't spend a lot of money at first, but we'll get into that in the next video. First, what is a camera? What are you doing with a camera? What are you shooting? And why would you get a camera? Well, one is, I explained in the other video, to document and share history, share your life, or share your vision. And your vision can come in different ways. There isn't one type of photography, and most photographers, after they've been shooting for a while, kind of go down a certain road, and then they'll do that for a year, 2, 5, 10, 15, or life. Or they'll try something for 2 or 3 years, and they'll try something else for 2 or 3 years, and just whatever they like. That's what I do. That's what type of photographer I am. I will shoot something for 2 or 3 years, go through it, and when I feel that I've worn it out or have gone as far as I can go or want to go, I will add something new to it, or I will go into another direction. Fashion, landscape, Milky Way, astrophotography, product photography, landscape with themes, slow motion photography, fast photography, freezing motions, nudes people do. I mean, people do all kinds of stuff. Fine art. There's many types, and hopefully I can encourage you to go after it. So, what's a photographer? What type of photographer are you? Are you a pro? Are you amateur? Are you a hobbyist? I don't look at it that way. I don't look at it as amateur or hobbyist. I just look at it in a scale, a level. Now, let's say you play baseball or softball or baseball, and you're AAA or AA, AAA, major leagues, right? Well, you're still baseball. You're still throwing the ball 90 miles an hour. You're still, all the guys that are in the majors come up from AAA, AA, and AAA. So they all come to this level, come from college, go to the AAA, AA, and then they go on to the majors. Some guys go right to the majors because they have a skill set or a skill level that gets them there. Well, the same thing with photography. You start off as a beginner, a 1 or a 2, depending on what kind of background, if you have background in art or if you took a photography class in high school or college. Then, you develop from there. You become a 2, then you become a 3 or a 4, then you become a 5 or a 6, and then you become a 7 or an 8. And a 10, I don't know what a 10 is in photography. A 10 is someone that is dominant in a field, and they just produce really, really great images. But a person that does great fashion might not really understand how to do Milky Way shot until they learn it, and then because they're 10 in the other type of photography, they will most likely be able to figure out how to do good in the other. So one will lead you to another, but most people get to about 4 or 5 and then they quit, or they just aren't interested anymore. Most of that is a learning curve, and then once you get past that learning curve of your 2 to 5 years, you will learn many things that'll get you into the 6 and 7, 8 range, 9 range, 10 range. But I don't know too many 10s. I know a lot of 4s and I know a lot of 7s. Me myself, I'm a 7 or 8 because I could pretty much shoot anything if I have the right resources at the time to shoot it. I couldn't do a big fashion shoot today because I don't have the studio size for it. But if I rented the studio size, then I would have that. And then if I rented the lights, then I would have it. Then yes, I can do it. As walking out my front door and doing it right this minute, no. But I have the knowledge and the ability to operate my camera and understand how to do it. So where you're at right now really doesn't matter, as long as you are trying to progress. And you will learn one thing when you start shooting is that you don't know anything, and there's a ton to learn. And you'll learn your whole life in photography. It never stops. You'll learn, like right now we have AI. People are panicking over AI, and I'm not afraid of AI. I think the more AI there is, the more valuable it'll be to be a real photographer, meaning that you're not using the computer to generate your images. You're actually planning it out and going with your camera and taking the images, and then you yourself are going into the editing software and creating an image based on what you've inputted, not deciding that the computer it gave you a good picture and you say, okay, that's cool, I'll use it. No, you're going out there, even in taking photos stock, and taking other photos and putting them together by choice and making a composite, kind of like this right here. I'll put a link to this, or I'll show this in a second. To this right here. This is a composite. This is the original shot, and then I added the flames, part of the mountains, the sky, and I did some editing to it. But I decided everything. I didn't decide any of it for me. I decided it, and I had to create the shadows and different things. Now, there is a thing called Harmonize in AI that will really help you. I think that's the greatest tool ever, because then it can take your creative ideas and you can put things together and you can do a composite like that, and it'll create the shadows for you and stuff. But AI basically does its own thing. So you're not in complete creative control. You might have decision power, like, okay, I accept that, and then that's what you'll use, but you didn't create it. The computer's creating it for you. So I believe as AI gets more developed, more people will want original stuff from a human, because it'll be more valuable because it came out of a human's hands. Kind of like a baseball. You go to the baseball game and they got a bucket of balls in the dugout and they keep throwing them out. People are throwing catch, and that's a great, and you got a baseball, that's fun and all that. Or the guy uses it at the pitch, he throws it and the guy hits a home run and grabs the ball. Which ball is more valuable? It's the same ball. It comes out of the same batch. But the fact that the human touched it, he used it during the game, he got a hit with it, it went over the fence. Now that ball is valuable. It means something. It has meaning, and especially if they signed it with that ball means something. So it's not just some average baseball out of a bucket. Even though that same baseball that went over the fence is the same baseball they're using to play catch with in between innings. It just changes the value of it. So same thing with AI and all that. So don't trip about AI. Don't trip about any of the technology, other than they have to learn it and understand it. You don't even have to use it. You just got to understand that it exists and the capabilities. Notes right here. Types of photography. So people don't, there's like only a few categories and then they branch off. So photojournalism, that's also could be event photography. It also could be a wedding in some cases, because the photojournalist is someone that's reporting what's happening at the moment, a news story, a fire, a war. You might be at a press conference. Well, the same thing. You're at a wedding. You're recording the moment. You're creating a document. You're recording the history of the moment. But then with the wedding, it gets more creative with the fashion part, more creative with the artistic part of it. But it's still, you're documenting. You're documenting an event. You go to a concert, you take pictures of the concert, you're documenting the event. So it's a type of photojournalism. So event photography and photojournalism go kind of hand in hand. Then there's landscape photography. Landscape photography is basically landscape. It could be any kind of landscape. Could be the beach, could be a cityscape, but that's a landscape. But it's a cityscape. You know, it's still under landscape. If you take a picture of the city or a bridge, it's a landscape. If you go to the beach and you're taking a picture of the pier on the and the waves, it's a landscape picture, but you've added those elements to it. It's still a landscape picture. You go to you do the Milky Way. You go out in the middle of the desert in the landscape and you're taking a shot of the sky, the landscape. So all those kind of fit under landscape. So anytime when you're going out and you're in the wide open and you're taking pictures of stuff, it falls under a landscape type of photographer. Then there's portrait photographer, basically people. So what type of portraits? There's all kinds of portraits. There's fashion portraits, there's family portraits, there's some kind of sporting where they're selling products, but with the human it makes it a portrait. People use nude or body type of portraits to express some kind of story or fashion. They're all portraits. So anytime a person's involved, it's a portrait. It's a type of portrait. It falls down a level. It could be fashion, it could be product, but it's still a portrait. Then there's product photography. So products are stuff. Anything that is sold or anything that is made by man could be a product, and that's a type of photography. Some people say, what about street photography? Well, if you're taking pictures of people in the street, that's a street photography. It's a portrait of a person in the street, a candid picture of a person in the street. If you're taking a picture of a building and the corners and the architecture and stuff like that, it falls kind of under a landscape. Or product, it depends, you know. I mean, you can look at it either way, but it all kind of intermingles right there. So it doesn't really matter what you're trying to shoot. What really turns you on, you know, when you're creating images and what you do like to produce and what's your final vision when you're out shooting. Now there is macro, where things are, you can take a picture of a small bug or a water drop or something like that, and it makes it look life-size. And that's a type of photography that people do. And it's a style. There's gimmick stuff where you go out, like this picture here has a picture of a glass ball. I take a glass ball, I set it on the snow, I'm shooting through the glass ball. But it's a mixture of landscape and a product and macro because it's in close to the glass ball. So there's a mixture there. So I don't know what really to call that other than, you know, it's just my vision, a creative vision. It's a type of landscape more than anything because that's the main feature in the background. But yeah, you know, so anytime you're shooting something, it's going to fall into one of those categories, and there's not one wrong. One's not better than the other. So I'm a portrait photographer, or I shoot landscapes, only natural light, or I only shoot in the studio, and it doesn't matter, man. Whatever you're shooting is great. Create something that's good and share it with others, and if people like it, you did a good job. Here's a photo I've done, kind of up close. And I'll post a couple of these photos in the video. I just use lights. So with lighting, I was able to create this look. And yeah, I mean, what do you call that? It's a portrait. I would call that a portrait. Here's a Milky Way. This happened to be a Milky Way. So I would say this is a landscape Milky Way. Astrophotography and landscape photography mixed together. So So nothing's like cut in stone. It's all a variable. Everything's a variable. Here's another type of photo, another Milky Way with a person in it. So I got a building. It's an old ghost town building. I got a person in it, which makes it a portrait. I have astro in there, which makes it an astro. So this photo has many different categories. But the bottom line is this is my vision. I saw this. This is out in Nevada in Death Valley. I saw this. I wanted to do this. We went out to shoot it. We got it. We got the shot. That's the shot. We were actually going out to do this. We weren't sure where we were going to do them, but this is the type of shot we were going. And they wanted to wear that dress. That's the dress they picked. And there we go. So we have a shot. So inspiration is what do you like to look at? That's what you should shoot. If you like to look at surf pictures, or if you like to look at sports, or if you like to look at old war pictures, let's say the Vietnam War really interests you and you like the old pictures and stuff, well, that's photojournalism. So go ahead and shoot that. See if you like doing that. Go out to the news when they have a news conference. The governor comes to town, or the president flies into an airport near you. Go there. There's going to be a ton of other people taking pictures. Just go there with them and see how you like that type of photography. My inspirations are my own galleries and other people's galleries. My own personal work inspires me to do better. So if I haven't shot it before, that really inspires me because it's a challenge. I do look at other people's work and I'm inspired by them. I'm not going to say I'm original at anything because we all learn from everybody. You know, 2 or 3 people may have taught you something and then you add your own twist on it. Now it's four people that have influence on that. Someone knows something before you and they learn it and they share it and then you put your own twist on it. So being original and all that, you're original in your final output. But everybody is a product of somebody else. I mean, if you're not the guy that invented film and the very first person that invented the camera, then everything's been taught. Every single person before you and after you has been taught by another person. So use it all for inspiration. Social media, books, those are all places to get inspiration. There's some really good YouTubers out there that are creating good content, and not so. I think it's more of a personality based than it is the content necessarily. That what you like about it, but there's plenty of things to look for, and then to find what you like to look at, and then to go from there. Books. A lot of people don't have books, but a good photo inspiration book from one artist, especially if they're an old time artist, kind of the pioneers, because you can actually see how hard it was for them, and then it gives you inspiration to basically you're going to mimic some of the stuff. So you go out to Yosemite and you take a picture in Yosemite. Well, I'm sure it's been shot by somebody before, but it doesn't matter. This is your version of it. This is your take of it. This is your edit of it, and so it's yours. Don't think you copied other people unless you copy it to the T. Same exact day, same exact size, same exact cloud, same exact clothes. You know, other than that, don't worry about it. Shoot whatever you want. What's the purpose of shooting? For me personally, I just like to create images, and I like to look at them. When I grew up, I grew up with magazines, and I would wait for the new magazine to come out. And we would look forward to that, especially I'm a surfer, so Surfer Magazine or Surfing would come out, and you'd wait for that next issue. And when you come, we just stare at the pictures, man. You just stare, and you look at the foot placement and the waves and the angles, and just like, yeah, I want to be that, or I want to do that. And those images really made me love imagery. But there's a lot of magazines, Easy Rider magazine for motorcycles, a lot of Hot Rod magazine for cars. Sports Illustrated, Time magazine for photojournalism. There's all kinds. what's important, shooting the right people for you, picking the right people to inspire you. I might not be the one. I might be too boring, or I talk too fast, or something. But there's plenty of people out here that will help you on YouTube or just in general out in the world, depending on what avenue you want to go down, to help you along. So, what to shoot? Shoot anything. Shoot everything. There's no wrong way to do it. There's only a starting point and ways to improve. And if anybody's telling you anything different, they're wrong, because your level of competence will grow as you practice, and your vision and your imagination will go beyond what you ever thought possible. So if you're still considering whether or not you should get a camera or not, I believe you should. I'll show some examples at the end of this video, some photos that I've taken. You'll be right here. And next time, my next video will be on gear and possibly what types of channels to watch for beginners and intermediate. So see you on the next one.